Hi there, it's Tracy DeVette from tracydevette.com, and I thought I'd just make this little video just to explain more about what I do, what it's like working under hypnosis, and just dispelling some myths and answering a few questions you might have. So first of all, we work with your subconscious mind rather than your conscious mind. So your conscious mind is that bit that you're aware of. It's answering your questions, it's making the decisions, it's the part of you that you're aware of, that you think with every day and gets you through through your daily activities, etc. The logical mind, the thinking mind. Underneath that is your subconscious mind, and that's where all your underlying behaviors are stored. So habits, ideas, behaviors that underline your everyday behavior, things that you've learned, fears, phobias, all of that, that's where they are kept. And so we're working with that subconscious part, allowing it to reassess some of the things that it's doing and clear them and release them if they're no longer helpful to you. And that's a decision that you make during the session. So during the session, I may be asking you questions to make you think about things. We always explore the issue and what that might be doing for you or holding you back from. That's all part of the process. Talking about hypnosis and being in a hypnotic trance, well, quite a lot of people say, oh, I don't think I can be hypnotized. I don't think I'm one of those that can be. I don't think you can hypnotize me. Well, we go into natural hypnosis or the trance state twice a day, every day. And that's when we are falling asleep and when we're waking up, that twilight zone, I like to call it, where you're not fully awake, but you're not fully asleep either, but you're still aware of what's going on around you. You perhaps just don't care anymore. So let's say you've fallen, you're tired, you're falling to sleep, you've left the light on, you're aware that the light's on, but you just, you're not going to get out of bed and go and switch it off. You're just going to let it be. That's kind of like the hypnotic state. And that's what it feels like. Another question I get asked is, will I lose control and tell you everything or do things I wouldn't normally do? That's total misconception. You won't do anything that your subconscious, that's there to protect you at all times. It's not going to do anything that your subconscious does not agree to. So your subconscious is there to keep you safe, and it's going to stop you from doing anything that you wouldn't be comfortable with at any other time. If you've seen stage hypnosis where people are running around behaving drunk or running around like chickens with their head cut off or whatever, that's all part of the fun. The atmosphere lends itself to that, and it's something that, you know, if they've had a few drinks at a party, they probably quite happily do anyway. So they're not being forced to do anything they wouldn't ordinarily do. The people who don't do that or aren't comfortable with that will be sent back to sit down in the audience and not be accepted up on stage anyway. Another thing is, will I be asleep during hypnosis? No, you're not asleep. You're absolutely aware of everything that's going on. So while we're working online, let's say the internet dropped out and you couldn't hear my voice anymore, you would not get stuck or lost in hypnosis. If any emergency happened around you, you'd be quite compos mentis. Your subconscious would react and you'd get up and go and do what you had to do in that situation. So it's not going to prevent you from looking after yourself in any way. And if you were in particularly deep hypnosis, you would simply just wake up naturally within a few minutes of not hearing my voice. What I do say is have your mobile or cell phone nearby on vibrate, so if the internet does drop out, I can always give you a ring, and we can either restart the process or perhaps reschedule. If it's towards the end of a session, it might be better to have another session instead of trying to get you back to that deep state of relaxation. So how deep will I go is another question. Well, you go as deep in hypnosis, and it's a relaxed state of a particular brainwave state, which, as I say, is the same as when you're falling asleep and waking up. And you go in and out of the state quite a lot of times during the day. So if you've ever found yourself driving home and you kind of thinking about other things, and somehow you get home and you realize you haven't really been paying attention. You've kind of got home on autopilot, and it's amazing that you haven't had an accident on the way, because your brain is just following that pattern that it's very used to, but you're able to daydream a bit at the same time. Now, I don't recommend this, but it does happen. Same as when you're doing other tasks and your mind starts to drift and wander, you realize where you are physically and what you're supposed to be doing, but your brain or your mind is just wandering off to other things. That's very similar to the hypnotic state. How deep you go, you can go right down into what they call the Esdale state. And in this state, it's been proven that people can actually have surgery, brain surgery even, performed on them, and they won't feel it. There are quite a few videos on YouTube, I do believe, of this actually being done by reputable surgeons around the world, which is absolutely incredible to think that our minds are so strong that when we put our minds to it, mind definitely trumps matter, doesn't it? So you go as deep as you're going to allow yourself to go. One thing that people do not worry with or struggle with, but they think that they're supposed to be like completely non-compass mentis and not know what's going on. You will know what's going on. And it's quite natural and normal for while you're going into the state or while conducting the therapy that you're thinking, is this going to work? What's she doing now? Why is she asking me this? What's that got to do with anything? That's completely normal. And that is just normal thinking, mind chatter. It's not going to stop you or get in the way if you just allow yourself to sink deep into that hypnotic state. So it's totally up to you how deep you go. You can never go too deep. Deep is sleeping. That's as deep as you go. And as I say, that Esdale state where it's kind of like a deep sleep where you aren't really aware of your surroundings, but that's fairly rare, to be honest. And sometimes if somebody does go that deep, I will bring them up a few levels just so that we can carry on having a conversation. They can still respond to questions, and your mind is still able to process stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're just trying to get your subconscious mind to reprocess some of the ways it's doing things and do them differently. Maybe let go of some behaviors that thought was very important but are no longer applicable, especially if they were picked up in childhood. A lot of those are no longer relevant as an adult, but that's where our subconscious is operating, and that's what's underlying our current behaviors. And that's where a lot of fear and anxiety is installed. It's when we were younger. So the idea is we're going to get to the root cause. We're going to allow your brain to reprocess it, let it go, and the subconscious mind will do all that for you. What else can I talk about? All of this is completely natural and normal during the process. What I would say, just relax and go with the flow. I've done this so many times. I know the patterns, I pick them up, and that's where I'm steering you towards them, because I know if you get the breakthrough, if your brain makes those connections, it's so enlightening, it's so empowering, and you can let go of all sorts of things once your subconscious actually realizes that they're no longer needed or necessary. And I see it change lives so often. Really, there's nothing to be worried about, nothing to be scared about. You could do no harm with hypnosis, and it will only ever be a positive result for you. Another thing I'd like to just mention is that when we have what we call the strategy or the discoveries call, I'm going to ask you questions there. And that might actually start the process of change off, because it's almost like poking around something that's been there for a while, and possibly just pricking it and letting some of the negativity release. So if even after we've just had our first chat, you start feeling different about things, that's absolutely fine. That's wonderful. In fact, that's an amazing result. And any sessions that we have after that are just going to build on that process that's already started. Now, the other thing is it is a process. Some people have incredible releases during the therapy, and that's great. It's life-changing. Phobias can go in one session. Habits like smoking, etc., can be gone in one session if you allow it. Deeper issues that have been going on for longer may take a few sessions. But what I find is that after the session, this process will carry on happening. Once it's started, it's a progression. And each session after that builds on the work that we've done before. And yeah, as I say, it's a process that I absolutely love watching people's transformations, because it is just so incredible. So yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I've missed out. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. There are some on the website. Add to them if you like. I'm very open and transparent and honest with the way that I work. Oh yes, before I forget, I don't always work with hypnosis as in the way people expect. So I might not put you purposely into that kind of trance where people are expecting to sort of be lying there, eyes closed, almost non-compos mentis, not moving, etc. I don't always use that as a technique. I have a lot of other techniques that I use. NLP is quite an active technique. Other things such as eye movement desensitization, those kind of things I'll employ during the process as and when necessary. So there's lots of various techniques that I use. And I'll just say this, no one session is ever the same. So it's as exciting for me to see what's going to happen as it is for you. Thank you for watching this. As I say, any questions, please don't hesitate. I am really so excited and so looking forward to working with you. I can't wait. So if you haven't already booked a call, there's a link below. Just click on that, follow the directions and get yourself booked into my diary. First call is always a discovery call to see what's happening in your life, what your problem is and how and if I can help you. And after that, you can book yourself sessions to actually come and start working with me. As I've said before, thanks for watching this, and I really, really look forward to speaking with you soon.